moment?
Yes, autoimmune disease has become an epidemic. We can use that word.
Mm-hmm.
And it's an epidemic in parallel with many other illnesses in the world. That is the Western world in particular. The Western world is the leader in all of these chronic diseases, particularly Anglo-Saxon world. That's certainly ahead of everybody else, the countries that speak English language. And then other countries in the West are following very closely, and the rest of the world is catching up. Because as they adopt our industrialized Western lifestyles and ways of doing things, they're getting ill just as much as people get here. All of these disorders are environmental. All of them are caused by what we do to our environment, to the planet we live on, and to ourselves. I don't know why people think that they can destroy the environment and be safe themselves, be okay themselves. We are part of that environment, part and parcel of it. We are not separate from it. And the more we damage the environment, the more we damage ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
And we have an epidemic of many chronic diseases, not only autoimmune. We have epidemic of mental illnesses, allergies, learning disabilities in children. We have an absolute epidemic of autism in our children. The recent statistic I was sent by one of my scientific friends is that 1 in 15 7-8-year-olds in eastern coast of America now are autistic. 1 in 15.
Wow.
1 in 15. 30 years ago, when I started working in medicine, we were diagnosing globally, all over the world. We were diagnosing 1 child in 10,000 with autism. It was such a rare disorder that majority of people never heard the word autism, and the majority of doctors have never seen an autistic individual. Today, it is an absolute epidemic, 1 in 15. And that line is climbing very rapidly. The scientists have predicted that in the next few years, we'll be diagnosing 1 child in 2, and it'll continue climbing. The other half of our children will not be healthy either. They have hyperactivity, dyslexia, dyspraxia, eczema, asthma, autoimmune diseases, and so on. And adults are not healthy either. Adults, parents of these children and all adults around have all sorts of chronic illnesses, mental and physical. Chronic fatigue syndrome is an epidemic. Fibromyalgia is an epidemic. Allergies, again, asthma, eczema, digestive disorders, skin disorders, kidney problems, heart disease, various heart diseases, lung disease, various problems. Autoimmunity is a group of conditions where the immune system produces cells against its own tissues, where the immune system is actually causing the symptoms in the body. And there are best part of 200 autoimmune conditions identified so far by our mainstream medicine, and the list is growing. Pretty much every chronic condition, and many of them are mental, and majority are physical, are now classified as autoimmune disorders. Autism now is an autoimmune disorder, schizophrenia is an autoimmune disorder, and depression and many, many other things. And of course, the conditions that you have listed. And the mainstream medicine still lives under the old paradigm that in autoimmune diseases, the immune system is silly, doesn't know what it's doing, and it starts attacking its own tissues for no good reason. So when you go to a doctor with these symptoms and they find those antibodies in your blood, in your tissues, they say, oh, you've got autoimmune disease. So your immune system is producing these cells to destroy, to cause all these symptoms that you have. So we need to beat the immune system down, so it stops attacking your own body. And they start giving you powerful drugs to destroy your immune system. Steroids, immune modulators, immune suppressing medications, all sorts of things. And that's the old paradigm. And of course, because of this old paradigm, the medical establishment believes that autoimmune illnesses are all chronic and they're incurable. There's nothing you can do about it. You just have to live with it. All we can do is suppress your symptoms by beating your immune system down, because it's foolish and it's just attacking you. The reality is, and now we know that through recent research into microbiome and the gut flora and the microbial community in your body, the recent research, now we understand that old idea is completely wrong. The immune system is never misguided. It is not silly. It knows at every point what it is doing. What happens in people with autoimmune disease, their tissues get contaminated by man-made chemicals from the environment. Huge part of that environment is food, water, anything you take inside yourself nowadays is contaminated. Everything you buy in a supermarket nowadays, including things labeled organic, because organic concept has been corrupted and you cannot trust organic label in supermarkets. Everything you buy in a supermarket now is full of agricultural chemicals. Many of these chemicals are classified as broad-spectrum antibiotics. So you're eating antibiotics for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and plus a plethora of other agricultural chemicals. On top of that, if you live on processed foods, the food industry takes all that produce that the big agriculture, industrial agriculture, laced with chemicals and grow with chemicals. Then they take this produce and process it, adding lots of other chemicals. And denaturing proteins, denaturing fats, denaturing carbohydrates, just destroying the whole nature of food, making it even more damaged, more destructive, more disease causing. And people live on this sort of stuff. They eat it for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And of course, that's a huge amount of pollution coming into their bodies. On top of that, people lace their bodies with personal care products, shampoos, deodorants, creams, lotions, and potions, which are all petroleum products. Our chemical industry has invented more than 100,000 of new chemicals which don't exist in nature. And many of them, most of them, are produced out of petroleum, out of oil. And they all absorb through your skin instantly. In seconds. They're in your blood. In seconds. And because they don't exist in nature, your body doesn't know what to do with them. They accumulate. They get stored in various tissues in the body. So you become a toxic dump living in our modern environment. You're accumulating chemicals and toxicity and denatured food particles and other things and petroleum products in your body from food, from water, from everything you put all over yourself, from your toothpaste, from your shampoo, from your makeup, from your nails, from anything and everything. Plus, add to that laundry detergents, dishwasher powders, chemicals you use in your household for cleaning your house, decorating materials, building materials for our modern homes. Our modern homes are very toxic places. Shopping centers, hospitals are very toxic places because of building materials and all the sterilizing chemicals that are used there. So the list is just growing and growing. So people's bodies become a storage site for this huge amount of man-made chemicals.